we kind of wanted to get your opinion on the report that ads could start appearing on NHL jerseys in the 22-23 season. Are you pro or against ads on hockey equipment?
So it's funny. We've actually had a conversation a couple times because of the fact that everyone started losing their damn minds over the helmets in the beginning there. So they were going fucking nuts over, and naming the divisions, us as the Honda West division, which I still didn't even remember it for the longest time. I was like, I kept on having to ask. I was like, what's our division again? And honestly, I could care less. I don't think we're gonna get into a point where it's like soccer, where they're the name of their sponsor is the name of their team. I don't think they'll be at that point. But I mean, in a world stage, exactly. Soccer is like the biggest sport out there, and people have ads all over the place, and no one really cares. So that's why I just feel like if it means that the NHL gets more money and the sport can grow, then I'm here for it, because I would rather them not have to struggle post-COVID like basically everyone is. And
and I'm sure
hasn't already done it. I just feel like
go ahead.
So and it's like they haven't done it, and I feel like the reason why hockey fans are struggling with this is hockey in itself is more of a traditionalist in fans, in the fact that they always have to have everything kind of the way it always used to be, and change to them is nothing that they ever like.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, just people dealing with change in general sometimes can be, that can be a challenge in of itself. And then, as you said, NHL is a bit traditionalist in that regard. Although, as Derek points out, I mean, the KHL jerseys, I think they look okay. I mean, I have some KHL jerseys in my closet. They're not too obscene, compared to the Finnish league. Like, it looks like NASCAR drivers on ice, essentially, which that's been the case for a long time. I mean, there's there's so many ads on Finnish league jerseys that you can almost barely see what color jersey it is, just because they're blocking all the color and uniqueness out of it. So, I mean, I thought the helmet ads were pretty tasteful. They haven't been a distraction or anything like that. And, it gets for the Blues, it'll get Enterprise's logo on TV for, a few seconds, that's fine by Enterprise, but it's not in your face. So I'm sure the NHL will do something like that. And they're not going to do the Man U jersey where, all of a sudden the crest is being replaced by a Chevrolet logo or anything like that. I don't think they'll go that far. And if they do, that's the end of my hockey jersey collecting. Done. I will not buy one of those jerseys. Just flat out.
The sport's too classy for that. I don't think they'll ever get to that point.
They're looking to do this in the 2022-23 season. I think it would hurt my interest, because of course, as you know, I'm a hockey jersey collector. It would hurt my interest in getting jerseys. I think I'm not alone in that regard. In fact, I know I will. Derek points out that he might stop adding to his game used jersey collection if we stick ads on them. And that's gonna be the big thing, Waggers, because do you just do the ads for the game worn jerseys, and then at the retail you still you have I guess the pristine jerseys? What do you think about this whole thing?
I mean, I think if you're talking purely about retail versus game used, I think they have to just do it game used, because you will lose people, because not everybody is supportive of the ads that they're promoting. Some people are not going to wear. Some people don't wear this Man U jersey because of Chevrolet on the front. Yeah, a lot of them don't wear it because of the Man U crest, but that's a whole different story.
And then City SC, they have Purina on their crest. I mean, they may be against Purina for how they test food, or how they, test food to dogs or something. I don't know. There's probably a few reasons to not like Purina.
Exactly. So, I mean, soccer and hockey are obviously different. I think the smart thing, and I think the NHL will probably go that route, is, just the ads on the game used jerseys, and everything else still stay pristine, because they are a puristic kind of league. For me personally, it really just comes down to the tastefulness of it. I mean, you see the helmets have been good. I was okay with the helmets well before they even showed me what they were going to look like, because I we've seen, little tags on it. We've seen decals. You don't really notice it unless it's a close up anyway.
Exactly.
So if they go that same kind of direction with the ads, patches, you see the patches. Yeah, the Blues have the Stanley Cup logo patch on theirs, and it's still not like super visible. You see it there, but it's not super distinct. It's not gaudy or overwhelming. You see things like the All-Star patches on some things. You see other patches on these jerseys. They don't ruin the pristine look of it. Now, if they start going toward the Finnish Elite League or things like that, where it's like patch, logo, then I start to get a little weird. And yeah, there's another great example by Derek, the Adidas patch on Hockey Fights Cancer jerseys. You see it. If you see a close-up, it's there. You recognize it. You go, oh, okay, that's cool. But when they're flying around on the ice, it's not the first thing that enters your mind. It's not oh my, they've got a patch on the back of their jersey. I think if they go that route, it's going to be fine. It's for the close-ups, it's stoppages in play, for people in the stands and for people on TV to see it. If it brings extra money into the league and continues to get them more exposure, I'm just like Corey in this. I think it's an okay thing. It's when it starts to go overboard that I think I'll probably pull off as well.
Yeah, tastefully done. Like, the helmets have not been an issue at all. I mean, you don't really notice them at all. I mean, especially during the course of play. I mean, you're not going to see the Enterprise logo or the Stiefel logo on the Blues helmets. I mean, if you do, then you probably got like a 150-inch TV. And can I come over and watch Blues games at your house? I mean, for real. But yeah, like if they do, like as Derek said, with the under the neck behind, I think that's fine. Even if they did like a little like underneath, like the where the blue shoulder is, like on the road jerseys, like right underneath, I mean, I think that'd probably be okay. If they do like a big thing, like it's like a like your Chevrolet jersey size thing, like on the back or on the front, that's when you're kind of infringing into, okay, now you're starting to take away from the character of the team, of the jersey, and you're basically just saying, hey, we're for sale. Which is not the way to do it. I mean, I bring up the ECHL a lot on this podcast. I mean, for one, I love my Fort Wayne Comets, and I still do. But if you go to a Fort Wayne Comets game at the War Memorial, which is just like idyllic minor league hockey stadium, the War Memorial, you go in there and you look at the ice, and it's just like you can barely see the ice because there's ads on the ice, and it's just I've taken pictures there, and a few people have commented, it's like, hey, where's the ice? All I see is advertisements. That's where you don't want the NHL going to. Now, minor leagues, I think minor leagues can get away with it just simply because the line between profit and deficit for those teams is a lot finer. I mean, there's not a lot of money in minor league hockey, especially at the ECHL level. For a good perspective on that, by the way, the Athletics, I think Scott Burnside did this, or it was Scott Wheeler, one of the Scots, spent 4 days with the Brampton Beast of the ECHL, who are, rest in peace, no longer with us. The article is called In One, My Time with the Brampton Beast. Look that article up. It's one of my favorite pieces of hockey writing ever. And it just details the hard scrabble life of a minor league team like that. So you can kind of see, and they have ads on their jerseys as well. I mean, like they're not, but they're kind of like the patches. They're not like the Giants, Finnish league, consume your entire jersey, advertisements. But you can kind of understand that. I think the NHL is doing a little bit better than the minor leagues, so I don't think they're that desperate. Although, to kind of further Corey's point, though, I mean, you want to see the league doing well, obviously. And I think both Arizona, I was going to mention this to Corey, and I just didn't have the opportunity. I think the Blues and Coyotes are both in agreement as well that they would like to see the cap go up from 81 million, because we have reasons to need a little bit of cap breathing room here. So that's another reason, I guess. So I guess in the end, if they do it tastefully, if they do it right, I think it's okay. I mean, look, the days of, if you watch a game in the 60s, like 1967 Blues, for instance, they didn't have any ads on the ice, on the boards, but those days are gone. The times are different. Times change. Teams need money. Players are making more money, than, Bob Plager, I don't think he made $1 million in his career. And yet you have guys like Clayton Keller who are making $7.5 million just this year alone. and Plager was a better player than Keller. So,
well, and you also see, I mean, you talk about ads on ice. It's not so much that they have them on ice at the arena. It's when you start to see them on the ice on TV, when you start to see them superimposed on the glass, of television games. The fact that they have even tested, boards that are on TV, you can superimpose ads on that and change them up throughout the game. Now I get all of that. I understand it. And yet it is in the NHL. It still is kind of tastefully done in a sense. Like you notice it, but it doesn't impede your vision of the game of itself. But when it starts to impede it, that's when things go wrong. And we talked a little bit about the fact that they sold out the names of the divisions as well. Like Corey said, how many of us actually remember what the 4 divisions are actually called? Exactly. I mean, you've got the Honda West. I don't even remember the other 3.
Like the Mitsubishi South or the or the Yugo East or the
Pinto North or something.
The Daewoo North. I don't know. I mean, and that didn't take off, obviously. And and sometimes I think if there's one thing we learned is that sponsoring division names probably don't work, and maybe you don't see those advertisers go back next year and sponsor the divisions as they are normally because hey, it didn't work.
And it may have just been a one-time thing too. It's you knew that you weren't going to be bringing in the revenue. Yeah, I mean you're not bringing in the revenue that you normally would. So what can you do to bring in that revenue you're losing? With something that may not even go past this year anyway. So it was a smart move on the NHL's part. It didn't endear themselves to their fans a lot, but once again, how many people really are stopping watching hockey because they named a division the Honda West division?
Exactly. And there's some people, that when the reverse retro jerseys came out, I mean, a lot of people saw through it. Well, yeah, some people saw through it and said, "Oh, this is just a cash grab by NHL." Well, yeah, they need money. They went economically stagnant, for 9 months last year because of the pandemic. So, and yes, it did not stop me from buying reverse retro jerseys. I bought too many of them, but anyway, but it's gonna be fine, guys. It's not gonna destroy the game. It's not. It is what it is, and like Derek pointed out that you still would have space for shoulder patches, promotional patches. It's when done right. I think the NHL will do it right because
mark it down. 7:36 p.m. 4/18/2021. Tom says it will all be okay.
We're totally gonna get advertisements that just consume the entire jersey, aren't we? I mean,
probably.
like the Blues are gonna come out one night in like a Ronald McDonald jersey.
They don't have to use the reverse retros anymore this year.
That's true. May as well just put a big old. I have a puck up here. May as well just put a big old M logo on it. I mean, you're halfway there at this point. That the NHL is going to start putting ads on jerseys starting the 2022-23 season.
Yeah, what the fuck did I tell you guys? What did I say? I said that first it's the helmets, it's going to be the jerseys next. And everyone's like, no, NHL would never do that.
Yeah.
Look who knows what he's talking about every once in a while, huh?
But our point, here's the thing with the helmet ads. They're really innocuous and they really they don't take away from the game at all. Like unless you have as I said, unless you have some insane 150-foot TV, during the course of play, you don't see them, you don't notice them.
Right. Well, that wasn't the issue. The issue wasn't the ads would be visible. The issue is they're going to do helmets. What makes you think they're not going to do jerseys? That's the issue. It's a snowball effect.
Well, they do it in other leagues. The KHL has ads on their jerseys. The Finnish leagues are just ridiculous in how much ad space they have on their jerseys. You can barely see the color of the jerseys. Terrible. Minor leagues have ads on their jerseys. And, as I explained, you can kind of understand the minor leagues because the difference between profit and deficit is so thin with minor league teams. Whereas NHL, I mean, you like to think they're doing well enough to not need to put ads on jerseys. But Corey made this point and I kind of agree. You want to see the league do well and you might want to see the cap go up in the next couple of years because it's still going to be 81 million next year because of COVID reasons. So I mean there's one aspect of you want the league to do well and there's also the aspect of but they got to do it tastefully. And so like Derek suggested maybe Putting it like you've seen the Hockey Fights Cancer jerseys, where they put like the little thing in the back, underneath the neck. Maybe they do it like that, and if that's the case, except for the occasional close up that you'll get during the course of a game, it won't matter.
Right.
So